All right, guys, welcome back to the second episode of the Remodeler Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Dariusz, and this podcast is mainly for the young entrepreneurs, the people who are starting to get into the remodeling industry, and also people who are already in it and want to grow, want to be more successful. So yeah, could you introduce yourself, Dariusz?
Hey, I'm Darius. My business is DM Remodeling. I am a trim carpenter. Basically now, I still do some other stuff, but basically just do trim carpentry now. And yeah, I love this. I love your idea for this podcast.
Yeah, awesome, man. So yeah, just take us to the very beginning. How'd you get started?
All right. I went to school for automotive actually, so
Hmm.
I was always going to do something with my hands. And my family was always like mechanics and stuff, and it was just too dirty at work, quite
Hmm.
honestly. It's hard and dirty. Not that construction isn't. There's a lot of different aspects to construction, and some of it's hard and dirty. I do trim carpentry, so
Yeah.
pretty clean stuff. But then I needed a job at 18. I just quit Napa, an auto parts store locally, and we had a family friend that was in remodeling. He needed a help on a deck, and then I just never stopped after that. I started working for him for about 3 years until he retired. I took on his clients. I kept doing remodeling for myself. And then I had an opportunity to work at a custom cabinet shop. So I took that. I worked at a custom cabinet shop for a bit. Learned a bunch there. I loved doing like high-end trim and cabinetry and like installs, working in beautiful houses. So then I started to just take on more like trim jobs, custom jobs after I decided to leave there. I worked there for like 2.5 years. And then I started getting into like new construction trim jobs. I got lucky and got to work on like some high-end trim houses that I was able to learn a lot with the lead carpenters and the owner of the business that, we felt high-end work. And then I decided I did like a big house with them and I was like, I really hate working with people. Like I'm going back to doing my own thing again. And then that was a few years ago and just been doing my own thing since then again.
Nice. So how big would you say is the company right now, like compared to where you started it?
Mm, I don't know if it's that much bigger. It's just me.
Hmm.
I'm solo. I enjoy my freedom, so hiring people and having people under me would get rid of that freedom that I have right now. Like if I have a couple days between jobs, I don't have to do anything. I can get job work done. I can catch up on stuff
Yeah.
around the house. I don't have to stress, and that's a huge like aspect for me of working for myself is having that freedom. But I would say from the jobs I used to take to the jobs I do now, it has grown exponentially. And the amount of work I have now has grown exponentially. Like I'm not doing, hanging one door or something. I'm doing full
Yeah.
house trims now, full remodel trim outs. So it's grown a lot in that aspect with my clientele, my relations and stuff like that, how much I make, um how efficient I am now and everything like that. But it's still just me, yeah. I hired kids when I was younger. I had a couple kids working for me when my first boss retired. I took on some kids. But just like finding work and stressing about payroll and making sure I have enough work, making sure they're doing everything properly, just wasn't for me realistically. I really enjoy my freedom. I think people don't utilize that enough
Hmm.
in the remodeling and construction
Yeah,
field.
that's real. And when you started, how did you come about getting your first couple of jobs?
I was lucky that I worked for a guy that was retiring, and
Hmm.
basically I was able to pick up all of his clients. But I had family friends that knew I was good, so they hired me. I had one family friend I remodeled the whole house for her. I did from the kitchen, gas, works. Ended up doing the whole house for her, and basically word of mouth. At that point,
Yeah.
you just build relationships with everybody. You start talking to contractors more, and your name gets turned into a hat a little bit more often. And then word of mouth, you do good work, and it comes back to you.
And what did that like first couple of years, what did that look like for you, like day to day?
Uh, Stressful as fuck.
Hmm.
Terrible. A lot of late nights. A lot of late nights.
Hmm.
You have to learn. You have to fuck up a
Yeah.
bunch. Yeah, a lot of fuck ups, a lot of late nights, a lot of underbidding jobs, and having to make up for it. And It was a lot, learning to manage your own time when people start working for themselves. Like, that's a huge aspect. Like, when you start working for yourself and you don't have to get to work at 9 o'clock because nobody's making you get to work, finding that motivation is really hard sometimes. So, like, it was really rough for the first few years. It was a lot of late nights, a lot of fuck ups,
Mm.
not making a lot of money, quite honestly,
Yeah.
because you fuck up and you have to eat the cost a lot of the time. But you learn and you grow. And I would say I'm 30 now. I started when I was 18. It's a huge difference, but I've been eager to learn throughout the whole time. So, like, you just keep trying to get better every day.
And do you think that sacrifice was worth it rather than like a regular job or career?
I think it's so dependent on the person, what you're willing to tolerate. There's I've had great privileges where I've got to work with a lot of people that would hire me on full time. They begged me to work for them full time, and I enjoy my freedom.
Mm.
So if my freedom is worth the stress that I go through, but there's almost every day, sometimes like every day, sometimes a few times a week, I think about just going to work for somebody. The stresses are immense, but you talk to guys, like, for me, I try to talk to like-minded guys, but I talk to all the contractors, and you talk to the 40, the 50-year-old, the 60-year-old contractors, and once when you get the things figured out, the stress gets less. Once when you have the knowledge base, the stress gets less. You learn how to bid properly, you learn how to make sure your time's worth it and you're not fucking up as much. So, I would say looking back now, I'm thrilled that I decided to do what I did. But at the same time, like, I still have my stresses every day. Like, right now, I've been scaling up my business a
Mm.
lot lately and have a foot going. I've been trying to do a little bit more, and it's immense. It is immense. But I know I'm gonna go through this for the next few years, and it's just gonna keep getting easier and easier as I keep making more fuck ups and I keep learning. It's just gonna get easier. And I don't know, it's worth it. But like I have had most of my friends don't work for themselves, and I look at their lives, I'm like, they clock out at 5 o'clock, and that's beautiful. They don't have to stress. I take all my stress home with me. If I don't finish a job, I'm thinking about it. But it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, so it's really dependent on, like, the person that you are and what your goals are and how you value your time. I see so many young kids, like, just people get in the trades, and they just don't value their time whatsoever, so they just end up working their life away, but, like, you can
So you said you started with referrals. How did you kind of build that reputation up to become, I guess, an authoritative figure like in your market?
uh, do good work. It's pretty simple. Do good work, treat people well, be kind, be curious. I don't know, I make a lot of friends. So, like, anytime I'm on the job, I've turned down jobs because I didn't like the
Mm.
vibe of the job. If the
Mm.
trades aren't getting along and having fun on the job, it's gonna be a miserable time. And for me, I very much try to cultivate a good mindset at the job site. So if there's other trades, plumbers, electricians, framers, anything else at the job, I want it to be a good time. I want to have fun. I talk to the
Mm.
clients. I'm just real with them. I'm a real
Mm.
human, and I think just do really good work, be honest, and enjoy it.
Mm.
And it's crazy how far that goes for
Do you
clients.
think that honesty is what the homeowner cares most when they look for a contractor?
I think they look for somebody relatable,
Mm.
quite honestly. They look for somebody they can talk to and not feel dumb. A lot of the time with like contractors and stuff, like they expect the homeowner to know everything and they think they know everything. And there's a huge miscommunication there where these people, this is their first remodel. This might be
Yeah.
their only remodel. This is like they've never installed a kitchen. They don't know what goes into installing a kitchen. And being willing to work with them and to teach them and help them learn and understanding that they don't know things. And if I have to explain things, that don't get frustrated by it. But also setting expectations with them. I think these things go really far for a client
Mm.
where a lot of contractors miss that point.
Have you ever had a story where a client was kind of troublesome or like they maybe got angry?
I really would say I don't know. I really manage expectations well. I feel like I dissolve conflicts before they would happen most of the
Mm.
time. Like, I don't know, why would a contractor be mad at me if I'm doing what they're asking
Yeah.
for, and I'm setting expectations, and I'm managing expectations throughout the process. Why is there a reason for them to get mad at me? Like there just should be no reason, you know?
Mm.
There's the only time they get mad at you is when you're not doing what they want to happen. And if you didn't manage those expectations, then of course there's going to be, some miscommunications and conflict. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. And then even like if you fuck up, you just, you tell them you fuck up and you tell them how you plan on fixing it, or you tell them, I
Yeah.
don't know how I'm going to fix it, but I'm going to figure out a way to fix it, and you just work with them. I don't know. I feel like the times where I see that is there's huge lapse in miscommunication and
Yeah.
there's upsliding issues prior to that, you know?
So it's mostly I guess, communication, you'd say?
Yeah, I would say
Mm.
it's huge. That's so huge. Like I think people don't talk about that enough. It's like, oh, to cut this or, manage your books like this, but like dealing with the clients and, being able to deal with the clients and not lose your temper as well is huge.
And when it goes wrong, like, how do you move past that? How do you, like, resolve the conflict?
You fucking fix it. No, you come up with a way to fix it. I don't know. I just was installing a vanity. I fucked up a cut,
Oh, really?
called the contractor right away. I said, hey, I fucked up this cut. I don't know exactly how I'm going to fix it yet, but I'm going to get it fixed.
Mm.
You know, if I had to buy a new sheet of panels, so I ended up cutting the back out, replacing the back, and like everything was all fine. But you tell them something went wrong and you come up with a solution to fix it. And as long as it's not money out of their pocket, why are they going to care?
Mm.
You know? So, I feel like I haven't had many, like, times where clients were ever mad at me. At least they never told me.
And, do you ever work with, like, subs or 2?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a flip going right now with I have subs working for me. I'm a sub for a lot of contractors, so, like,
Nice, nice.
I'll just go do their trim. There's a company here, Perez, amazing. So if anyone in Scranton area use Perez, they do great work. But I do most of their trim outs for them. So they'll do an addition or new construction. They'll hire me just to come install all the doors, trims, cabinetry, and, yeah, so I deal with subs quite a bit.
So you specialize with the trimming?
Yeah, for the most part,
Okay,
yeah.
like carpentry?
Mhm. Mostly all just
Okay.
carpentry and trim work. Door installs, cabinet installs,
Mm.
stuff like that, yeah.
Would you say that's in demand? Like
Yeah, I think people don't specialize in trades enough.
hmm,
That's
like
my hot
carpentry?
topic for sure. I think I know yours is about remodeling.
Yeah.
I
Well, it's
think
kind of like they're
oh,
definitely related, yeah.
yeah, no, it's extremely related,
Yeah.
and my hot topic is I believe that people should specialize in trades. I think there should be GCs that
Mm,
hire subs, and every sub specializes in what they do. You know,
mm,
you get a flooring installer that installs floors. You get a trim carpenter that installs trim. You get a plumber that installs plumbing. You get your HVAC that installs HVAC. You have your framers that do framing. You have your siders that do siding. You have your tilers that do tiling. Because when you do that, you can do it better. You can do it more efficiently. You can give a better price. You can guarantee your products better because that's all you do, and you can just refine your craft so much more. So yeah, I would say for me, I mean, I'm in no lack of work right now. Like I'm paying all my bills happily. I have a full schedule right now. Like
nice.
I don't have to stress. I'm not looking for work. Work just, contractors just keep calling me to do trim outs and it's great. So I would say there's no lack of work. It's the best time to be young in the field. It's the
Mm.
best time to be young in the field. There's so much work and there's not enough people.
What would you tell someone that's young and wants to, get in the field?
Be curious. Be so curious. Be humble and be curious. Ask every question. Ask so many questions that you annoy everybody around you. That's my biggest for me, that's what I've always done. I
Mm,
ask so many questions to every single person on the job.
mm.
To the homeowners, I am the nosiest person. I ask questions all day, every day. 'Cause every time there's a sub, just talk to him about his processes. Talk to him how he does these things and just learn. Be a sponge. Be a sponge and just learn as much as you possibly can and ask questions. Just be curious.
Definitely. And would you ever, like, wanna have a team someday? Or do you just wanna stay small?
I debate it. I debate it.
Mm,
I've been scaling. I have so much work that I definitely could hire
mm,
people. I enjoy my freedom so I really enjoy my freedom. I make enough just by myself. Like I don't feel like I have flips going or and like rentals. But like I make my money, like extra money off of those. Where like trim carpentry is just fun for me, and like, hey, don't get me wrong, I make a good chunk of change at it, but like, I don't know, I debate it. I really debate it. It's tough. I feel like I should because that's what everybody does. I really enjoy my freedom. So I don't know. And like you can just hire contractors. There's so many contractors out there. Like if I have such great relationships with all these contractors, I can be like, hey, I need a couple like can you give me a couple days of help on this job, you know? And I can just get them to give me a couple days of help on a job here and there if I really need it. So like I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for me. But as of right now, I'm gonna say no. I'm
Mm,
gonna ride solo as long as I possibly
mm.
can.
And with the freedom, like, what does that kind of look like? The freedom.
It looks like I can go get coffee with my wife at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday, you know? It looks like if I wanna take off for a week and go on a trip with her, I can. It looks like if we're going to a concert at 5 o'clock and I finish work at 12 because I wanna finish work at 12, I can.
Mm,
You know, I get to live my life. That's like a huge priority to me. I think people get stuck in this work grind, make as much
yeah,
money as you possibly can all the time. Why? You have enough money, you have a roof over your head, you have everything you want to. I don't know, put away into savings, sure, 100%, you know? But at the end of the day, like you have to enjoy your life. You have to have your passions, you have to have your goals,
yeah,
spend time with friends, you know? Like I think that gets lost and then people just get bitter at their jobs. And then like I feel refreshed and I can go to a job and do better work because of it, you
mm,
know? And I think people just lose that. Like, I
mm,
think that should be a huge selling point for people getting in the trades. Like, you get your freedom. You want to go golfing on every Tuesday, you can go golfing every Tuesday. Nobody's stopping you. You know, make
yeah,
sure your jobs are getting done on time and stuff. Make sure everything's good. But like, you can do what you want to. You know, if you want to work Saturday and take Tuesday off, you can. You know, I think that freedom is so underutilized by people in the trades.
and has that freedom, like, always been there, or is it more recently?
Oh, it's always been there. Sometimes I made less though. Sometimes it was just a little bit more stressful to have that freedom, you know? But no, it's always been there. I used to work a lot more than I do now. I feel like, don't get me wrong, I probably work 10-hour days still now, but it's my choice to, you know, I want to.
Mm,
I want more things. I'm growing other because like I'm just growing and like, you know, me and my wife just got married,
mm,
so we want to buy another house and we
yeah.
have other goals and stuff. So right now, sure, I'm working, but it's because I want to work longer hours. Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that.
And, like, with that freedom, what is kinda like a day look for you? Like a routine? Like, what kinda keeps you grounded there?
Morning routine's so big. I love my morning
Really?
routine. I get up, I make myself French press of coffee, freshly ground.
Oh,
I sit on
nice.
my porch, I journal, I have my coffee, make myself some eggs, leave the house anytime between 8:30 and 9 o'clock whenever I like, you know, depending on the day, what I have to do and stuff. But like I don't leave work until typically I don't get to a job before 9 o'clock. You know, like, all my subs know I don't come in ear like, all the contractors and everybody knows I don't come in early. They start at 7:30, they know they're not seeing me at 7:30.
Mm,
You know, but I'll work until 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, like, that doesn't bother me, you know?
yeah,
That's like a small, like, little bit of freedom that, like, I enjoy my mornings. I'm not rushing out of the house. I'm not waking up at 5 in the morning to get to work. I
mm,
enjoy my mornings, so I enjoy my mornings. I work until 6, 7, that doesn't bother me, you know?
mm.
Some people like to get up at 5. Good for them. You know, not me though.
Has there ever been a moment where you kinda felt lost in your business, or was it always, like, smooth
Oh,
sailing?
yeah, all the time, all the time. I got so lucky that I got to work with like so many different trades
Mm,
and work with so many different people that like I'm still pivoting. Like I used to do a little bit more custom cabinetry. Me and my wife just talked today. I said I'm not doing any more custom cabinetry. I'm just doing trims. I'm just doing the flip. I'm just doing our rentals. It was too stressful. I was always stressed about finishing. Bidding takes longer, planning takes longer. It was too stressful for me. So, like, I'm always pivoting. I'm always changing direction to like make my life flow how I want to. I'm
mm,
30 years old, you know, we're young, you know, any
yeah,
person starting out, I'd say try out the different fields, you know, like there's so many aspects to remodeling and being in the construction field. Like you're gonna find something you like, but try them out because you might find that you like something a little bit more, you know, than something else. So like I went from I love doing tile, you know. I thought about just doing tile at one point, but then I decided I didn't want to do tile, and
And
so I felt, yeah, definitely a lot of times I feel lost. Like, especially in the past few years, I've definitely felt super lost. But you try different things out and you see what you
mm,
like. And then you just keep pivoting based off of, you get some data from, I was happy doing this or I was so stressed doing this. And then you know how do you want to pivot.
yeah. And I'm kind of curious, like, how are the jobs like priced? What do you use to for the estimates?
Oh my God, this is so bad. I even tell all the contractors. They'll literally send me blueprints. I'll put it in ChatGPT and have ChatGPT price it for me.
Oh, really?
It's off of like market value for my area. Yeah, that's like honestly past 8 months, probably 90% of my work I priced that way. So I can't say I have a great pricing structure because I just throw it in ChatGPT and it works. It
I
works.
mean, I think that's the new meta, just using AI for stuff,
Yeah,
and
I mean, a
it's
little bit
definitely
too.
helping.
Yeah. Do you do work yourself or
Yeah, I've had the I think I did I tell you about the company I had before?
no?
Yeah,
You
it
said
was the
remodeling, but
yeah, the marketing for modeling. Yeah, AI is pretty much used for all of like the fulfillment with the advertising, all that stuff.
yeah,
So kind of like how you use AI, it
yeah.
really speeds everything up and it makes it
It
so
makes
much
so
easier.
so much easier for me. So
Yeah.
I typically bid out my jobs like that. Don't get me wrong, there's jobs I do time and material. I'm making some custom trim right now to match like old vintage trim in a
Yeah.
100-year-old house. So I'm milling up custom trim for them. I just charge time and material. So like that's shop work. I don't really care too much like what I charge for shop work. So like I'll probably charge between 50 to 60 an hour for
Hmm.
that just for shop work. So I gotta be at home,
Oh,
have
okay.
lunch, stuff like that. If I'm on a job and I'm doing time and material, it might be like 70, 80, depending on how complicated it is, maybe up towards to $100 an hour. It just really depends on the job. Honestly, how much I like the contractor. If the homeowners are nice, I'll probably give them a break. Yeah. So I don't have any like set pricing. I go so much off of vibes. It's honestly crazy, but it works. So
Hmm.
like I don't know why change it if it works.
Do they ever like take a while to pay you or are they all like punctual?
No, no. So I do commercial work. I do some commercial custom cabinets
Hmm.
for like this one company.
Yeah.
There's times it's like 45 to 60-day periods.
Hmm.
I don't know, you kinda get used to it, you kinda know what expectations there are, so, like, I know there's contractors I work for, I'll get a check within the week. There's contractors I work for, I'll get a check at the end of the day. I know what most contractors are doing. I think people should ask and, be like, "Hey, what's the pay period?" "What's your normal pay period?" People should be upfront and ask those questions, and contractors should be upfront and honest about what is a realistic pay period so people can plan. We're very lucky my wife has a good solid corporate job, so we have, like, just, like, stability there in our
Yeah.
aspect, but, yeah, there's been times I've waited. I think I just had one at the beginning of the year. I think it was, like, 50 something days out from when I sent the invoice, dropped off the cabinets to when I got paid. So, like, that you learn, like there's other jobs I knew that they take forever to get paid. So, like, I wasn't banking on that money, you know, build up a little nest egg when you get started. Try as hard as you, it's so hard when you get started to build up a little like nest egg, but really try to prioritize that so then you can have somebody right and like,
Hmm.
your finances. But it's hard 'cause there's so much to learn
Hmm.
when you first start. So,
Hmm.
like but most of my contractors are pretty good. I'll get paid within, like, a week or 2. So, like, I don't really mind that, but just when I know I'm doing those jobs, I just know it's gonna take a while, but I'll eventually get paid.
And like how often are the jobs? Is it like a different one each day or does one take like a week or so? How is that?
So I used to do, like, jobs that were, like, more handyman
Hmm.
special, you're in there for a day or 2.
Yeah.
My sweet spot is I like to be on a job no longer than 2. And it's different, it matters on the house, like, if I'm trimming out a 500 square foot addition, it might be, 3 to 5 days depending on complexity of it. Sometimes I'm doing a full new construction, 1,200 square foot to 1,800 square foot house, that's gonna take me, maybe 2 weeks to get
Hmm.
everything how I like to get it. And then I have a job coming up, I don't even know the square footage. I'll be out of for
Yeah.
3 to 6 months. probably. It's, you know, so like it does vary, but
Yeah.
typically I would say lately it's between 3 days to 2 weeks. And I like that spot. I really enjoy that spot. I don't get too
Yeah.
bored, you know. I get to keep moving, but I do get to set up tools and stuff, you know. But everybody's different with that too, I found. And some guys just don't mind, you know, but for me I do. So I like a week or two for a job just because then I don't get bored at it.
And do you ever do like your own projects where you like sign the contract with the homeowner, or is it just with the contract?
No, 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 no. I have some clients that are
Mm,
just homeowner
yeah.
like, you know, but I've been doing work for like a lot of them for years where they're like, good referrals, friend from a friend. So like it's never too stressful. I honestly hate dealing with clients. I
Really?
hate dealing with clients. I love the clients. I hate planning a job. I love that I could just be a sub and I just go to a job,
Mm,
everything's done, everything's ready. I just follow the set of prints. But like the whole planning aspect is like a tremendous amount of work,
mm,
especially depending on the size of the remodel.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't account for their time for that either. Like when you're meeting with a client 3 or 4 times before the job even starts, you're out, 20 hours almost right there. People don't account for that time a lot of it. And yeah, so I feel like I try to not deal with clients much, but I do. Like I still do a couple of like custom built-ins and stuff, and I'm dealing with clients, drawings, and all of that. It just takes longer. And like again, if you specialize in something, you get in with some good contractors and stuff. You don't really have to, but maybe at the start you don't until you get a good name.
And to get where you're at right now, like with the freedom and all of that, how long did that take you? Like when you just started, was it a couple of years or?
Yeah, I would say a couple of goals. You have to go. You have to put in your time. You have to really put it a lot of time. You have to get good at what you do. Like
Yeah.
my trim 10 years ago versus my trim now, completely different product. Completely different product. So back then, I was underbidding jobs, under thinking how long they were gonna take, and everything like that. So I was just ended up screwing myself. For now I know exactly how long the job's gonna take me. I can get paid properly for that job. So then like now I know exactly what to expect, exactly I'm charging properly and stuff. So that gives me the freedom. But it took years to learn. You can get, good mentors and stuff that teach you quicker, but like it takes years to learn that stuff. You have to put in the hours. Like I don't know. People like it's definitely the more you put in, the more you're gonna get out. The more you learn, the more you're gonna continue to grow.
How important is a mentor for you?
Oh my God, it's tremendous. Tremendous. I feel like right now I don't have any good mentors, but like I feel like I don't know, I probably do. Actually, I probably do, but I don't have like a good steady one, I would say right now. I just have a lot of good contractors around me that I get to
Yeah.
bounce off of, so that's tremendous. But when I first started, my first boss, he was a great mentor. When I worked at
Mm,
the cabinet shop, he was a great mentor. They taught me so much. These
mm,
old bucks, they have so much
yeah.
knowledge, but you have to ask. They're not just good. Like a lot of them will tell you when you ask, but they don't think of these things because they already went through it. They don't want to think about it. That
Mm.
was when they were stressed. Why do they want to think about their most stressful time? But if you ask them, they're so willing to help you. There's so many people are so willing to help you. They don't want to see you struggle. Most people don't want to see you struggle. If you have a good relationship with your like subs and your
Mm,
contractors and like homeowners and stuff, they're gonna help you so much. Like in the past year, I've been like very much cultivating relationships, and it's completely changed my life.
mm,
Completely changed my life. Like mentors are so important. Find some good old buff and ask them a billion questions. They're gonna want to help you.
mm.
Like it's awkward at first, but once you get used to it,
Yeah.
like they're so willing to help.
So you'd say relationships are definitely a key part to success.
Oh, 100%, especially in remodeling.
Mm,
So many of my jobs lately, they're just because the painter recommended me, the framer recommended me, this or that, because have a great relationship with them. I'm willing to help them on a job. I have a huge, like, I think all the trades need to work nicely together if you want a house to come out great. You never have a house come out great if the trades don't work together. So if you don't have good relationships with the other trades, you'll never have a house that comes out great.
mm,
Because the framer has to think about the carpenter or the drywaller. The drywaller has to think about the carpenter. The carpenter has to think about the painter. Otherwise, everything's not going to match. So you need to keep cultivating good relationships. And who doesn't want to be on a job that's fun? You know, I'm on these jobs, we're having a blast. Like, who doesn't want that? Why do you want to be miserable at your job? Have fun, enjoy it with people around you, and just have a good relationship.
I mean, if you did go the 9 to 5 route, how do you think that would have been like compared to what you're doing right now?
I don't think I could have done it.
No.
I tried it with like some guy. I tried it with like this builder, and I tried it at the cabinet shop. Like, it was good. It was great. I stressed so much less. I had so much more free time. Like, I had my freedom, but I had more free time, you
Mm,
know? Because you get home at 5 and you just don't stress because it's not your stress to carry, you
mm.
know? But I every single time I had it, I gave it up. I gave it up. I couldn't do it. I did it for a little bit and I was like, I absolutely hate this. But I couldn't imagine actually doing a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know. It's not for everybody, and I don't think it should be for everybody. Life's way more enjoyable this way.
Would you say you make more doing yourself or with the 9 to 5?
I want to say it makes more, Is that always true though? No. I got really good job opportunities where I was making good chunk of change working for other people. But I think at this point, with my level of expertise, my knowledge, my relationships, I would say I definitely did more than it. But I think there's a fine line where like you can make enough that it's worth working for somebody else if you want to go that route. I think there's many contractors there's such a short demand. Like there's such a demand for workers. There's such like a demand for workers right now that people
Mm.
have to pay pretty good. So I think that you can make a good chunk of change and you can get rid of stress. But if you want to make that little bit of extra and have that freedom, then it's worth working for yourself.
So that leap is definitely worth it, you'd say.
For me, it was. I don't know. I think it's up to people on how much stress that they can handle.
Mm,
Like everybody's built differently, and like everybody's
mm.
goals are different. I have a lot of friends that they look at me and they're like, "How the hell do you live that life?" And I'm like, this is the only thing that's normal to me, and I love it. And I think that's fine. I think their lifestyle
Mm.
is perfectly fine too. Like, I'm not judging them
Yeah.
for that, but like, I have different goals and different ambitions, and what works for me doesn't have to work for everybody else.
And do you think there's maybe a way out of the stress, or is it's just something that comes along no matter what?
I actually been thinking about that a lot lately. I think it's just a lack of knowledge. So, like for me, I'm doing a flip right now, and I'm extremely stressed about the flip. Because I don't know the market rate. Sure, I know my craft amazingly. I can go trim out a house now and I have no stress, you know, but that wasn't always the case. You have to get the experience and you have to do the fuck ups and you have to learn. So I think the more knowledge you get and the more fuck ups you have, you start to learn better how to deal with the situations and the stress goes down. But then, for me, like now I'm pushing a flip. So like there's a lot of stresses that come in with
And I guess when you started, like, what is one thing that I guess you wanted to know at the beginning that you didn't know,
uh, goodness, that's one thing I wanted to know that I didn't.
or anything
Oh,
you wish you knew?
getting better. I
Mm,
use ChatGPT now, and I clearly even haven't even learned bidding well.
yeah.
Bidding and time management. Bidding time management. I didn't prioritize relationships as much as I do now, and I feel like I might look back at that one, and I might change my mind on that. I think relationship building is for it. I didn't. I utilized it when I was younger, but not nearly to the extent I do now. You know,
Like, let's say someone's like 18 years old and they want to start this. Like, what would you tell them?
go work for somebody else goals.
Mm.
I
Getting
think
the
it's
experience.
I get experience.
Mm.
Get experience. Try things out. Try things out where it's no cost to you. Try things out when it's cost to somebody else. And like for me, like I started remodeling and then I completely like I found my niche. So, I have a buddy that's looking at getting into the trades. He works in tech right now and
Mm.
AI is taking that over. So he's looking at changing and he's thinking about electrician or HVAC.
Mm.
Do part-time with one, do part-time with another one. What do you like?
Yeah.
Try it out. You got to try out the flavors. I would say do that before you start your own business. just to find your niche and to like get it more dialed in because when you have your niche, you can just learn everything about that, and then the stresses go away because there's less uncertainty.
So specialize in one niche at the beginning.
I
Mm,
try things out, find your niche,
mm. Oh, okay.
specialize. That's what I would say. And it might just be general remodeling. There's so
Mm,
many guys that do great in general remodeling. You don't need to be,
mm,
the houses I do, a lot of the house I do, the trim's like, perfect or this or that. A lot of people don't care, we still need people working on the less expensive houses
mm,
and stuff like that. So like if you want to just do remodeling, just do remodeling,
mm.
learn everything you can about it. But I say whatever you do, learn as much as you possibly can.
And to learn, like, did you go to a trade school or what was it?
So I went to school for automotive.
Oh yeah,
Didn't
remember
do
that.
anything with that.
Mm.
And then I learned everything on jobs and on social media. Social media is amazing.
Oh
There's so
yeah.
many great podcasts. There's so many great people on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook Reels that you can learn so much off of. You don't know how many times I saw something on an Instagram reel and then I went on a job and I was able to try it out and it worked phenomenally. And then I was able to tell other people about it, these old bucks that don't have social media, and
Mm.
they're like, "Oh my God, I never thought of that."
Yeah.
It's a simple little adjustment you could make, like Dentmore is amazing, Insider Carpenter is amazing, R&R Building is amazing. And these guys just post this stuff for you to learn. Like people want you to succeed. Just
Yeah.
go out there and learn it, you know? Say like there's how many jobs I pulled up to. I'm fucking on YouTube looking up how to install stair skirting. I'm watching some videos real quick. You figure it out, you learn, but you have to be willing to learn and you have to be humble enough to know that you need to learn.
That's real. And if you were to give like one piece of advice to the young people, what would you tell them?
Get in the trades. Get in the trades. It's so much fun. It's so great. The pay's great right now. Like there's a shortage of workers. There's such a shortage of workers. Like I don't know what the statistic is, but it's like for every 5 guys retiring, like 2 guys are getting in the field or something. Like
Yeah.
there's a shortage of workers. Get in the fields, learn something, learn to do something with your hand. You'll never have to stress like about having work, but honestly. Do
That
good
was
work.
that was one of the things that I was talking to a remodeler the other day. He was like, I can't handle more work. I have no workers. There's no one.
There's no one. I had
Yeah.
this conversation with an electrician the other day. He's like, I have all this work and I do not get guys to, like, I can't get enough guys to do the work. I have so many contractors that tell me that, like
Yeah.
they're just slammed and they can't get enough people to do the work. And it's great for us because we get to charge more for it. We get to charge properly. We get to charge for our skill, and just get in there. Just get in there. It's not as bad as people make it out to seem. Sure, if you want to be a plumber that works on like, just clearing out clogs, like yeah, that's probably gonna suck a little bit. But you could be a plumber that does all new construction or does, just fitting in stuff onto remodels. Like
Hmm.
there's so many opportunities that if you get good at your niche or you get good at your craft, like you don't have to do the shitty work. Did I do the shitty work when I started? Yeah. But now I don't have to as much. Sometimes there's still days that some of the jobs are still a little shitty, but like I don't know, it's still better than being in an office from 9 to 5 and just sitting there and staring at four walls. Gonna move around a little bit. Get in the trades. Get in the trades and it's so eager for it.
Do you think even with like the high demand, do you think there is still like competition with companies or would you say it's okay?
No, there's competition. I think the competition is on a bigger scale, though. I think the competition is between home builders and like bigger remodeling companies. I think for those things, there's competition at pricing. If you're getting an addition onto your house, they might get 2 or 3 different prices
Mm.
for an addition, and they're gonna, maybe they'll go with the cheapest one, maybe they'll go with the mid one, maybe they'll go with the one that they trust the most. So I think there's competition in that. I think that's slowly dwindling, though. I think that
Mm.
competition is getting far less because these guys can only take on so much work still at the end of the day. I would say for like the smaller guys, I don't know. I feel like maybe I have some competition out there that I don't know about in my area, but like I don't feel like anyone's like, I got this other price, I'm gonna go with them. Like
Mm.
I haven't heard that in a long time, you know? So like I don't think it's on a small scale competition. Well, then even if it is, don't sell yourself short. Do good work. Don't sell yourself short. Like, work's gonna follow if you just do good work. And don't sell yourself short. Like if you try to underbid a job to get that job, I think in commercial there's two competition, right? I'll say that. But I think for like me, it's like I know I will do a shittier job on trim for less money. I'm gonna do the same job on trim that I do no matter what. I'm gonna make sure it looks just as good on a $1 million house that it does on a $200,000. So I'm not gonna sell myself short. If they want to go with somebody cheaper, they can go with somebody cheaper. But I'm not selling myself short just to give a product that is superior, like is subpar.
So that's how you kind of stand out from the competition. You, I guess, stand your ground.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I would say so. Again, I don't know if I have any competition out there. I haven't heard about anybody being my
Yeah.
competition. There's like a builder that I was talking to, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my trim guy's so cheap. Like I'll just never change him." And I'm just like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I saw his trim though, and it wasn't good. So like, I'm not gonna give you that same price because I'm not giving you that same trim package. So yeah, stand your ground, do good work, and the work continues to come in.
And like, where do you want to take the company? Do you want to just keep being solo, or like, where do you see it within like the next couple of years?
Quite honestly, in the whole thing in 10 years, I'm not even on a spa at all.
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, my goal is just to only work on my own properties. So I only want to do my own flips, my own rentals, and that's it. I'll probably continue to do just complete trim outs, remodels, and full house trim outs for the foreseeable future until I have enough properties that I be completely self-sufficient. So for me, that's another reason that I'm not
Mhm.
like too eager. I would love to
Yeah.
hire a young kid just to teach the craft. So like that's a huge thought for me is like hiring somebody young to teach the craft to. Because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge at this point with it. But yeah, I kind of just want to only work on my own properties, ideally, like 10 years. That's where we're heading toward and we're on track for it. So we're just gonna keep trying for that. And I don't know, I think about scaling it, but again, I don't know. We have enough. We have enough.
Have
Like
enough.
I'm not looking to be the richest guy in the neighborhood. I really don't. I don't think I prioritize money at that.
Mm.
I think I'm comfortable and I'm happy where I'm at and where we're at and what we have. So like I'm not really looking to scale and I don't think everyone has to. I think I'm nothing against you asking that question, but I
Yeah.
think that question is so normalized where we think we have to scale. We think we have to hire
Yeah.
tech guys. I was just having a conversation with the plumber the other day and he's like, at the biggest I had five, he's 65 years old right now. And he's at the biggest I had 7 guys, 5 trucks going. And he goes, "I'm so much happier working by myself," right? And I take that to heart, like, I don't need that extra money. Like, I don't need it, and, like, why should I add a huge amount of stress just to say I'm more successful, you know? And we normalize that in this culture where we push, like, you have to, like, grow your business. Like, why aren't you growing your business? Like, you don't
Yeah.
you can get to a point where you're comfortable and happy and all your bills are paid and you're putting money into your savings account, and that's okay. Sure, I have other things on the back burner, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I think we push this idea that you have to be so successful at everything you do. Like, you don't. You could be happy just as a one guy quote,
Yeah.
you know?
I think the most important part is to, be at peace and just, yeah, as you said, be happy. Because you can be really loaded and still, not be satisfied. But, if
You
you're
have no
like, oh,
time to spend with your wife and your
yeah,
kids. And I'm sure you have all the money, but you have so much stress. You're gonna put yourself
yeah.
really great.
I mean, there's obviously some guys that are like completely taken out of the business, but it's a completely different level.
Yeah, but you have to get to that level.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you still have to get to that
yeah.
level.
There's a huge
So
grind to
many
that.
years of stress to that,
Yeah,
like, and then even at that point, like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem appealing to me.
yeah,
It really doesn't seem appealing to me. I don't know. I don't have that desire to be like that high. So like, I have a hard time
yeah.
even picturing it.
You want to stay humble, stay free.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so important,
I
and we
like that.
should normalize it slightly, like because there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
We live a great life. Like, I don't know. My truck's paid off. We have a good house. We have other things going on. We take 2 vacations a year. Like, I don't know. It's good. It's good. So, like, why stress? Why add more stress if you don't need to?
All right, man. I think that was a great end to the podcast. I'm really grateful to, have you on here. And
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
yeah, anyone watching this, Darius, you want to shout out if you have an Instagram
Yeah,
app?
it's just DM Remodeling. Yeah, that's about it. We don't really post much. I don't really do advertising. My wife does a little bit, but I don't do too much advertising. But DM Remodeling, if you need some trim, hit me up. But I love this podcast. I love what you're going for with it, and I think you can get more young people into trades. Make it more lax and make it more fun, and the trades aren't as scary as everyone makes it out
Hmm.
before.
Yeah, man, that was great. The wisdom is there. I think that was something that a lot of people can, really appreciate. And yeah, I think this video will help a lot of people. So yeah, subscribe to the channel and see you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you too, man.